Welcome to the Superintendent's Corner. I'm your host, Max Resega. As we welcome in the new year, we are talking with Boardman Local Schools Superintendent, Mr. Tim Saxton. Mr. Saxton, thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
As the new year is underway, for this episode, we are going to discuss some new events on the Boardman Local Schools calendar. So, Mr. Saxton, in regard to Waiver Day and gap closing, can you tell us just a little bit more information on that?
Sure. Waiver Days, as I like to say, is when the teachers become the students. It's a great day just to do a deep dive into data, and it's been very effective. One of the hot topics when we started the school year across the state of Ohio, across our nation in education, was gap closing. Have our students where they're supposed to be? Have they lost learning over the last 2 years because of how COVID impacted schools? The best way, you can't just say I think so. You need to base your decisions on data. So, and one of the things we committed to was making sure we had data for all grade levels. We usually create some very good data for K through 6, and over the last couple of years, our 7 through 8 has grown, but 9 through 12 was one of the missing pieces. And as you guys know, as you experienced over the last 2 weeks here, we've been doing a lot of baseline testing to get that data. So on those waiver days, our teachers pour over that data, take a look to see where students are, and help them make informed decisions so they can plan for the upcoming grading period. And Mr. Cardillo made a report to the Board of Education at our organizational meeting back in January. Just a general view, pulling that data, especially from the lower grade level. Overall, our reading level, average reading level for our students across the district was actually, as we expected, below where they should be as compared to the previous year. But then when we checked at the midpoint at the semester, actually our students were reading above the level the kids were reading at the same time as last year. So it shows you in a very general statement that it is working. So it's been very productive for us. So I'm glad we have them. I'm glad our teachers can use them, and the end result is better performance for students.
And as you mentioned in there, COVID, it's been affecting us for a long time now, been a big product and everything. Can you tell us how we've managed to stay safe through the school and handle it all?
It's actually good. It's hard to remember life before COVID. Mm-hmm. Is it BC? I don't know. Really, we take our direction from the Mahoning County Public Health Department, the Ohio Department of Education, and the Ohio Department of Health. So we really rely on their guidance. And the big items for them has obviously been vaccinations. So we've been able to sponsor vaccination clinics for staff and for students. The other is air quality. So one of the things you've seen this year especially are those the big air purifiers in almost any learning space. Social distancing where appropriate, and masking. So using those different strategies, we feel we have a very effective plan to make sure kids can attend in person. And we know in person, it really is the best way for kids to learn. I think a lot of people think we made a decision, we're stuck on it. That can be further from the truth. We pour over data ourselves, taking a look at case impacts within our district, within our zip code, and within our state on a weekly basis, trying to make decisions, trying to make sure we're always doing the best to prove a safe environment for our kids.
In regards to health, we have our sports teams, a number of them are performing well. How would you say that participation in sports is helpful for academics?
Well, you're talking to a guy who was an athlete himself here at Boardman. I've been a coach and obviously been a teacher. I'm a big believer that when you're involved in a program, and it doesn't have to be athletics. It can be this. It could be the TV studio. It could be the arts. It could be the performing arts. When you're connected to programs other than just academics, you're all in. And the research, the data shows that students that are involved in other activities feel a true connection to the school that they attend, and their academic performance goes up. It just I just speak as myself. I remember as an athlete, when I was out of the season, I wasn't quite as structured. And it's easy to come home like, I don't have practice, I can do that work later. But when you have events to attend to, you're structured, you're getting more done, and you really are more productive.
For the first time in 7 years, we had the speech tournament at Boardman. Can you shed some light on how all that went over?
Yeah, and actually, it's a great time. That's another activity that kids at Boardman can be involved in, and probably something we haven't talked about in a while because we haven't had a speech tournament here. And I think that if I remember correctly, about 7 years, and I'm so grateful for our coaches to revive that idea. We had our major speech tournament. Speech team is growing, getting better, competing. But I think Boardman's always been known for their speech program, and they've also been known for their speech tournament. So to have that back, to host that, and we did I believe it was a rock and roll theme, which was nice. We had over 200 participants, over 20 different districts represented, and even had a live band. And I don't know, it might be a rumor. I heard it was either Def Leppard or Aerosmith, but that may not be true. I can go check it out.
We have some new programs this year, like from the YSU microengineering and pre-apprenticeship. Can you tell us more about that?
Absolutely. You can't turn on the news without hearing about the chip shortage. Guess what? There's no chip shortage here at Boardman High School because our students after school, working with students from YSU, are taking a look at microchips and how they're designed, how you can build them, how you can repair them. And it's been great for our kids. They're thinking about going to a STEM field, going into engineering. But also, Boardman's also been known for its fantastic woods program over the years. We have fantastic facilities, but it was nice to revitalize that program and to partner with the career counseling program through the ESC and do the pre-apprenticeship program, where in the building trades environment, where our students that take that class are actually working out of a manual that's developmental. They start with some basic projects, and ultimately, if you go through the program, you can actually learn home construction, home design.
Earlier, you mentioned about like all the clubs and everything. We have our drama club. The Cinderella musical is coming up this February. What all can you say about that?
We had another great performance back here in the fall, so it's good to see that program also. COVID has impacted programs, but signs of life here at Boardman High School and the Boardman schools is the great programs that have just been traditionally successful. You can just feel are continuing to grow, and just what our students do at the Performing Arts Center is unbelievable. And in February, the 10th through the 13th, to bring Cinderella, which is a great, I don't know if we should use the word marriage, between what our kids can do, but also to bring in our young students, but also to bring in our adults and bring in our community. So we're excited to have Cinderella, have just a wonderfully talented group to put her on, a beautiful place to have it. It's February 10th to the 13th, which is a Thursday through a Sunday. The Thursday, the Friday, and the Saturday are 7 p.m. shows, and then the Sunday is a matinee at 2:30. We strongly recommend you buy your ticket online. You can buy it at the door, but really go online. And if you go online, students in grades K through 6, when you place an order, you can get one free ticket for someone in K through 6. So we really like to see some of our young Spartans come see that and again, experience the facility, but really experience what our kids can do on stage.
Well, is there anything else you want to add in particular that I didn't cover?
I'd just say that I'm so impressed by the toughness of our Spartan students. It's been no one could ever have predicted this back in early 2020.
Yeah.
But I always say this. I say this to a lot of our different stakeholders that our students are a lot tougher than adults sometimes expect or believe that the youth of today are, and they have adapted so much better, I'd say, sometimes than even the adults have. And it's just, when I walk through these halls, I know there's a lot of challenges to an education, with the way COVID has impacted, but our students are thriving, they're excited, and it's just there's great energy here. And just like the things we've talked about, you can hear our students being successful. They're making it through and even getting better. So to me, that's just encouraging, and that's just great signs of just such a strong future, especially for our Spartan graduates.
Well, I want to thank you once again for coming out today, Mr. Saxton.
It's always a pleasure to be here. What a fantastic place, what a fantastic group.
Oh, thank you. That's all for today. From BSTN, I'm Max Resega. Have a great day, Spartans.